Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the extra time for Everton nil, Aston Villa nil. Everton grind out a hard-fought draw against a side that's obviously doing very well in the league. Villa is still third in the league, so this was never going to be an easy game, but we come away with a point, and every point counts. It would have been nice to have won the game, but all said and done, neither side created a lot. We spanned a couple of good chances, so did they. I'd say a draw was probably a fair result all in all. Few returning players to the squad. McNeil passed the fitness test and was back on the bench. Ducore was back from injury, a massive boost for us. Coleman back from injury, and of course Calvert-Lewin was allowed to play after having his suspension rescinded. So we had a lot more options available than I was expecting going into this game. And for the most part, we didn't play terribly. Villa were the better team by far in the first half. Thought we grew into it second half and could have nicked it. We had a goal disallowed, of course, by Decore late on. It was the right decision, but we were just desperately unlucky on that front. Um, Villa had a goal ruled out by the VAR, just short of the 20-minute mark, and that was, it's about time something went our way. I mean, there's plenty of other things off the field not going our way, so do something. Thank goodness for that. But again, even then, it went our way, but the VAR decision making was obviously dragged out and the usual load of nonsense that it is. The less said about that, the better. Thankfully, like I say, it did go our way and we stayed at 0-0 and it stayed that way till the end. As far as the individual performances were concerned, obviously Decore was an absolute game changer returning to the team, played well. Amadou Onana also had a good game, I think, in the middle. The defenders solid. Coleman did well on his return, as well as you could expect from someone just recovering from injury. Mikalenko had a bandage on his head and still did okay. And the defence, Brantwaite and Tarkowski were really solid as well. Tarkowski was in the midst of a skirmish. I say a skirmish. It was just a really good tackle that left one of their players on the floor that everyone seems to be asking should he have been sent off, and the answer to that is absolutely not. It's the kind of tackle that I think we need to see more of in the league. It's hard. It was fair. You know, it, that kind of it's a dying art in that respect. Slide tackling because you can hardly ever go to ground without getting a booking these days, and it's ridiculous, really. But yeah, Tarkowski led the team well. He did really well. Probably my man of the match. The forward we were a bit more lacking. I thought Jack Harrison did okay. Dan Juma, all right. I think Calvert-Lewin was really profligate again, and that's really starting to become a cause for concern. He spurned a really good opportunity, and yeah, he just doesn't look. I mean, he's never been the best a 1v1 finisher, but it never looks like he's going to score one of those at this moment in time. He's had better runs of form in his career, certainly, but he's not a natural finisher, is he? Let's be honest. And the question has to be asked: does Beto come in for the next game? We've got Crystal Palace at home in the FA Cup replay, and you have to ask: does Beto get the nod there? And Beto, in fairness, came on for Calvert Lewin in this game and had minimal impact. So it's turning all round in terms of what our striking options are because no one's really delivering in that centre forward role at the moment. Even if the rest of the team is still doing their job relatively well, we might still get results here and there, but we need our strikers to be performing better than they are. Beto looked to have been improving. This was hopefully just a blip in the Villa game. Calvert-Lewin seems to be on a longer run of poor form, so I think the next move would probably be best to give Beto the start and see how he gets on and see how Calvert-Lewin gets on from the bench. If it gives him a bit of a kick up the backside, perhaps. Um, Maybe that's the best way of going about it. Maybe it isn't, but it is worth trying something different. There always is when things aren't going well for a prolonged period of time, at least. maybe give it a maybe try something different and see if we can find a different solution. There's plenty of um there's plenty of other options we can take up. Even if we haven't got the actual squad options, we haven't got a lot of squad depth, but we can try and rejig the system just to get the best out of what we have got. And in fairness, Sean Dyche is probably one of the better managers to have for doing that. So I'm hoping that we can something like that and a few little tweaks here and there can get us back on track from an attacking standpoint. Defensively, though, we were really good. Like I say, Villa are third in the league for a reason. They've been beating a lot of better teams than us, and we shut them out and restricted them to only a few chances. So props to the defence. It was a really good performance at the back. And then we move on then to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, and then thankfully for our sake, a prolonged break until the next league game. So hopefully we can win that Palace game and go into a long break on a high and give these players a chance to recover because we're going to have a really hard run in. From here on until the end of the season, we've got to have to try and keep players fit. Maybe we might get the odd one or two loans or whatever before the deadline. I'm not 100% confident about that, but a couple of new faces would do no harm whatsoever. Even if we had to do them on the cheap, I think that'd just bolt to the squad until the end of the season. Hopefully, get us over that line. Um, Obviously, there's all the up in the air about us breaking the rules again this year and what that could bring, and there's still the appeal of the existing deduction as well. So there's plenty of potential changes to the state of play for us. So every point is going to count. We've got to keep trying to put in performances in those games. It wasn't to be in terms of a win for this one, but the performance was, acceptable if nothing else. Really strong defensively, just a bit too top, and that's becoming a regular occurrence recently. I think is that we're just not scoring the goals. We just need to get back on track in that respect, and have a couple of have a bit more clinical finishing up front, and really make the mo. It helps us bring the best out of what we're already doing well at the back, and if we do that, then I think we will. Even whether we get another deduction or not, I think we might have enough to stay up. If we don't get another deduction, I'm very confident that will stay up. But yeah, some new faces as well. That'd be great. It wouldn't do any harm. And then I'd feel a lot more confidence. But until the Palace game, anyway, we'll leave it at that. Everton nil, Aston Villa nil. Let us know your opinions on the performance and what is the point a good point in your opinion. I personally think it is. Some people may beg to differ on that, but yeah, get your comments coming in. Give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.